Shalom, welcome to another crown jewel word analysis. Today we're diving into one of the first of a series of birds, okay? And this is a very interesting bird because in the Torah and Zohar and writing of the sages, there's a couple of birds that have great symbolic meanings, and today's time for the rooster. So I want to take a look at this word rooster, and we'll do a written transferring of the letters. So we have up till now done a lot of phonetics, right? So to give you the difference is like bird. For example, bird you would write B, base, and then I would be a yud, and then resh an R, and dalet a D, okay? But in the phonetic, that would have been base U, bird, because it sounds like B-U-R-D, okay? So rooster, written, would be as such, would be a resh for the R, two vavs, O-O, S, samech, tet for the T, and then a resh for the R. So we have two reshes and two vavs. Very interesting word. Let's go to the drawing table and take a closer look at these words. We'll also treat the Aramaic version. Okay, so there we go. Blank piece of paper. So we had rooster. Okay, I'll try to write and take my hand out so you can take a look at it. Yes, okay, there we go. So we can do a lot of things here. Like we said, we had two races, right? Now the first interesting thing for me is these are double. Let me show you. Rooster, resh is form, vav, first of all, get Likkutei Yirah by Yirah H'ari to show you that here we have the vav. So now the vav can be a V, U, O, and W. In the case of the O, which is the rooster we're doing, this is the top of the nail. Okay, so we can see this in words such as door, which also has two vavs then. So binding a form from one side of the path without walls onto the other. We have a similar situation here because a nail, you can also see it as a conduit, because the vav has a value of 6, can hint at Tiferes, but can also hint at Yisod. Right? It's the 6th day Yisod. Value is not 66, I'm just putting there that both hint at 6. Okay? From one side of the path to the other. So if you see the nail as a conduit, you have an entrance and an exit. Receiving and bestowing. Okay? So that to start with. 2 times resh. What is happening here? Okay, so the resh in the milui is when you spell it out, resh is 510. This is an exact permutation of yashar. Yashar, which means straight. Yasharel, straight under God. So okay, center column, which is Yisod. Of course, just the same. So we have 2 times straight on the end and on the beginning, either or on both sides of the form, because each sephira has 2 sides, okay? Panim ve'achorim. So that both works. So we have a resh, yashar, straight in the beginning, and we have yashar, straight in the end. then the conduit, right? The sum total of these 4 letters is 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 72, plus 9 is 81. Now 81 is the inkolel of Yisod. There's a couple other things, but we have a lot of things to deal with today, this word. So this is the inkolel of Yisod. 81 is also 3 times 27, and 27 is the Aleph Tav, including the 5 Sefit letters. You could say then over 3 columns, okay? You'll see in a little bit where I'm going to, where I'm heading at. So now we had an 81 plus 200 and another 200. This is a sum total of 481. Okay, I'll write it here. Sum total 481, which is the value of, I'll put here a G for Gematria. This is the value of Ben, Chacham, Yishmach. Yishmach is a permutation of Mashiach. Yishmach, Av. The wise son brings joy to the father. Okay, the wise son. Hold on to that thought. The Katan value, sum total here is 31. And 31 is the value of Echia, the crown. Echia. And what has a rooster on his head? A rooster has a crown on his head, a 6-spiked crown. I've looked at a lot of pictures of roosters. I cannot find an official statement for it, but I count 6 spikes on the head of the rooster. So this seems to be the king, and we should not forget that the rooster is the only male of the hen, and a hen is like a miniature world, right? It's an olam. He's the only one that bestows. Okay, he bestows, and even though he's an oif, right? Oif, which was 156, like we had the other video about Yosef and Kan, which were the letters connected to the Mem, right? Waters, and that were the letters Nun, Vav, and Kuf, and they spelled Kan, nest of Vav, of 6. Okay, and it hinted also at Yisod. We're still in that line of thought there. So Echia is the crown that sits upon, metaphorically, the head of the rooster, who is the one who descended. Even though he's a Yisod, Netzachot Yisod division, because he's a bird on the Kabbalistic tree, that is where you would place him. Yet he walks the ground and he never flies longer than 5 to 10 seconds to jump on top of his house and to scream out and show that he's there to all the females. That is about it. But he's always there because the highest light fell the lowest. Why? To bestow. Okay, so the rooster does all this, symbolizes all this. So Echia is the crown on top of the rooster's head. Now there's a couple other things going on here. So we had the 27 times 3, right? All the letters, including the Sefit, over 3 columns. Because what does the Tzaddik Yesod Olam do? For example, he unites right and left into the center, Yashar, which we had here. Yashar on both sides, right? Yashar in and Yashar out. Okay? Do not deviate to the left or to the right. So now this 481 has another piece of important information there to it, because it is the sum of 13, which is Echad, oneness, right? Echad times 37. And that's not a coincidence here to me, because we all know the Ben Chacham Yishmach Av is the Raya Mehemna. Okay, the wise son that brings joy to the father is the Melech HaMashiach. I'm finding that this rooster, he has all the metaphorical, spiritual symbolism of the Melech HaMashiach, because he's the highest light, descended the lowest. He's the only one that bestows, the only true teacher bestower is the Raya Mehemna. Okay, so and in the process of Ibur, which he can provide the Ibur to those who align with first Beriatic Torah and then the Torah of Atzil. Now, to not make it too complex, 37 is two things, two very connected things. Namely, these are the Miluim lights of the 63 name, because the 63 name is as follows: Yud, He, Vav, He. What we call the Miluim is the pregnant letter. So this is the Yud, He, Vav, He name. So then we have the restitutional. These are the pregnant letters, and these value 37. Okay, these are the lights of Ima, the lights of Ima. This is 37, and it's in the teachings of Yirah H'ari. He did an amazing revelation there, which was never before taught, how the Torah really explains the emanation of Zerayinpin by Bina, right? So, and there was the connection made that 37, namely, is also the value of Hevel. Hevel, from Cain and Hevel, because we had the Netzach, Hoid, and Yesod, the light. This was Chava, right? She was the 19. So 19 plus 26 is the 45 letter name. Then we had in what seems confusing, we had in the Netzach, we had Cain, who was in the Tzelem, 160, but also the 72 letter name in the right column, because 72 minus 26, we do the same principle there, right? You do the Yud, He, Viv, He. And then this is Yud He Vav He, of course. That leaves us with 10, 20, 36, and 46, which is exactly the ordinal value of Cain plus the 3 letters of his name. Because Cain, Kuf is 19, Yud is 29, Nun makes 43 plus 3 letters is 46. So that was Cain. Then here came on the right, because we all think, and that might be right in a certain setting, that Cain was Gevura for slaying Hevel, right? But don't forget that the blood that signifies the left column was not Cain's blood, but it was the blood of Hevel. So in this setting, it is Hevel in Hoid. Hevel is in Hoid, where he symbolizes the lights of the 63, because 63 minus 26 is 37. So Hevel 37, and we know that Hevel was reincarnated into Moshe. So you have Moshe, which is Mem for Moshe, Set, and Hevel. So that's correct, okay? Because Moshe was later to be the Rai Mehemna that is in these times, okay? He is here to teach us. Okay, Hevel, Moshe, reincarnate. Okay, so that's the 37. So we're still here in this gun, this nest of Vav, right? Where the birds are mentioned, which is the value also of Yosef, 156, Kan Vav. And it's the value of Oiv, 156. It's very interesting stuff. So it all connects to each other. So now this brings me to the following verse, because we have then the rooster, okay? Echia, who wears the crown, right? A six-spiked crown on his head. What else did I want to say? Yes, because now we have the 63 name, which is Sag, 63. Sag, and that makes complete sense. Why? Because he was crowned. The crown his mother crowned him with, the crown. That is what scripture says, right? So, and I figure you know the story of Moshe. So it's found everywhere throughout Torah, Zohar, writings of the sages. These two Vavs also made me think of the two wings, so to say, right? Two forms of wings. Yisod, 3 times 27. Yes, 13 times 37. That was it. That brought me to Hevel. Yes. So, what else can we say now? We'll go take a look at the Targilah de Gevra. I already had some notes of that. Let's take a look, because we had the Kan Vav, right? That was from another video. So that was the nest of 6. By the way, Kain is also Kan, nest of Yud. Kan Yud, which completely aligns with Kain being in the right pillar, okay? Underneath Chochmah, Abba, okay? So, it's not a contradiction, completely fits the narrative here. So we had Oiv, 156, we had Netzach Yisod here also. So, here's the word Aramaic for rooster, Tarnegula. The value of Tarnegula is 690, which is 2 times Moshe, or Moshe and Shiloh, because Shiloh is also 345. Shiloh is named for the Messiah, which is, of course, Melech HaMashiach, not just a fallen Messiah on the left or the right. No, it's the one that aligns in the Or Yashar, straight, center column, Yisod, Tzaddik, Yesod, Olam. And what does he know? He knows time, Yoda Zemna. To know time, Yoda already says, this is a term that you see often. Yoda means Das, knowledge, right? So, and Zemna together make a value of 182. 182 is Yaakov, so now we have a round, so now we have the complete straight Yashar line here, because 182, Yaakov in Tiferes, right? Tiferes is here. He combines the right and the left, right? Chesed of Abraham, Gevura of Yitzchak, to the center, passes us on. Then we have Yosef, the Tzaddik Yesod Olam, who is born. He doesn't need to become Yisrael. He is already center column, and he is a straight conduit that bestows upon the Malchus. So the rooster who bestows, receives of course, and bestows upon the people, right? Upon Israel, because Yisrael, not a physical, not a geographic place, but those who walk center column, who align themselves with center column. So, and Tanegila de Gevra of judgment, the rooster of judgment, in sum total is 900, which hints at the ninth day times 100, which is also Chochmah, right? So Atzilut, Ibur, many things are connected. Yes, and before I forget, Hevel is also 5, hey? 5 letters of the name Elohim times 32. Tselem, again, right? 32. So 32 paths, right? 10 Sefirot, 22 interconnections, yet 32 mentionings of Elohim in the creation account. So 5 times 32, 160 in the image, together with Cain, whose name values 160. Last thing I want to share is that the word bird itself hints also at the Tzaddik Yesod Olam, as well as to what we can do in order to help speed the process and to become part of the Melech HaMashiach, but then in the level of Ruach, which is the collective, and Neshama, which is the collective consciousness thereof. So we have a physical Melech HaMashiach in Asiya, okay? And, well, like bird was, if you look at the tree, then you have Keter, Chochmah, Bina, Das also, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus. And this is the bird, 2 wings, a body and a face, yet the rooster walks on the ground, the light that descended. Okay, so, but this bird, right, Yashar, the Tzaddik Yesod Olam, is also a bird, and bird has a beautiful Gematria value, namely 2 plus 10 is 12, plus 200, 212, plus 4 is 216, and an ordinal value of 2 plus 10 is 12, plus 20 is 32, plus 4 is 36, ordinal, which is exactly the ordinal and the Gematria of the word Yirah, awe, because those who are in awe, right, Beyirat, fulfill the whole law. Those who are not in awe fulfill none of it. Okay, so this is a hint. Uriah Mahemna, he is present, he is teaching, and he's showing us the secrets that were not available before. As the Zohar says, Slach Lecha 288, Messiah toils in the letters, right? Because none knew of the letters except for Messiah, right? And he brings the Aleph Tav, the crown jewel, to us in great toil. One more time, here it is. This is life-changing. This is life-changing. And we'll keep shooting videos. But I want you also to start memorizing, start practicing, start meditating on it, right? Start drawing it. We have worksheets to practice on. And I also have videos with tutorials how to practice. So, many blessings, much love, till the next video.